Female gooners must be stopped. Yeah. This should be interesting.
Oh, I didn't see you there. What am I reading, you ask? Well, just one of the best-selling books on Amazon right now. With millions of sales and almost 20,000 five-star reviews, this book has been absolutely blowing up, especially on TikTok, or BookTok, as the kids call it. Thousands and thousands of women, in particular, have been raving about this piece of literature. What piece of literature is it, you may ask? Well, Morning Glory Milking Farm, of course.
Sorry?
A popular romance
Are we just promoting bestiality now?
novel about a young woman down on her luck who does what every young woman
Is
does
this the female fantasy?
when facing financial struggle. She starts an OnlyFans.
Or the female gooner fantasy?
No, I'm just kidding. She wouldn't degrade herself like that. She gets a job jerking off monsters.
That's right, the Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I have been reading Morning Glory Milking Farm since last night,
If I see a third one, it's a pattern.
and I'm obsessed.
This was a good time. It did not disappoint.
Chat, we got a
If
pattern.
this book is trash, then I am a fucking raccoon. Give
And she broke the pattern, if you know what I mean.
me all of the garbage.
But they all sound kind of similar, so I guess she broke the pattern, but she kept it in a different way.
Get your eyeballs on this, because it is so good.
I regret to inform you
Damn, maybe we are equal in certain aspects. When it comes to gooning, men and females, we both can be dirty at that. And look downright disgusting. I don't know if it's worse for women or whatever, because y'all got the rose toys and all that stuff. Shouldn't even be doing that. But, you know, we're not perfect. But, like, you're just wearing yourself out. But I'm getting on a tangent. Like, save yourself for your future mans. You know what I'm saying? Give them a chance.
that there is a
I don't know where I was going with that, but female gooners could be worse than male gooners. Who knows?
new epidemic. An epidemic that many
We're about to
have yet
find out.
dis-
We're off to a very... The start's not very good considering the book title in question.
discuss. And that epidemic is female gooners.
I'm reading what I read.
Smut, that's what it's called.
Now, for those of you unaware, gooner is internet slang for someone addicted to porn. And smut is slang for dark romance novels, otherwise known as porn. Many correct about the dangers of porn addiction with men. How it
There is this girl that I knew from high school. She wanted me to watch all 50 Shades of Grey with her. Never happened. Like, she was obsessed with it, kinda. I wouldn't say obsessed, but she was really into it. She just was that type of female. I did watch all the 50 Shades of Grey movies. They actually weren't too bad. The female, I can see how it entertains the female fantasy. I do understand. It's just the rich guy who's fit and then just can seduce, sweep me off my feet, whatever. Like, just, I guess that's the female fantasy. Or female gooner fantasy. And I guess 50 Shades of Grey is like light work now compared to what I'm about to listen to already. 50 Shades of Grey I feel like also does kind of appeal to the male fantasy in a sense too, because we do want to be that guy that's super strong, that's fit, that can do it in the bedroom, who's rich, if I said that already or not, I don't know. But and just be able to just wow our female and just have her like submit to us. Like, I guess it appealed to my male fantasy side. Maybe that's why it was so good. It encapsulated both sides in a sense of what, especially modern day outlooks on relationships are. Increasingly, not for the most part. I don't know for the most part at this point, but the model has changed.
can destroy their lives and their relationships, and most men know the material they consume is weird. That is why they are ashamed of it. That is why they delete their browser history. That is why they go incognito mode. But these bitches—
That's why some of us try to just go cold turkey, and then we realize we got ourselves into a deep pit that we're trying to climb out of now. A dopamine pit that can never be satisfied.
Freaks out here. They display their smut openly in bookstores. They proudly pose in front of their smut. They display.
That is Barnes and Noble. I recognize a Barnes and Noble in any picture. That is 100% a Barnes and Noble. They're just selling smut in a Barnes and Noble, and the sign says, "Okay, hear me out." No, I don't think I will.
Display their smut openly in bookstores. They proudly pose in front of their smut collections. They discuss their smut openly on TikTok. They go to smut conventions and get choked out by 9-foot-tall shirtless Wendigos.
That looks like what an Epstein party would look like.
Now, I know what you are thinking. Shoo, isn't this the pot calling the kettle degenerate? Yes. Yes, it is. But have you considered it takes one to truly know one?
That's true.
You see, women are strange, fascinating creatures. For centuries, men have tried to figure us out. Our mood is affected by the tides and the moon. We bleed for 5 days and don't die. By painting my face, I can instantly shapeshift from a 4 to a 6. We are truly mysterious, magical creatures. But one of the most
Mysterious for sure.
aspects of women to men is our sexuality. You see, us women are not like those disgusting moids. No, we are sophisticated. We are evolved. We don't watch videos of strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. No, we read about strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. It's different, okay? You don't understand. It's okay when we do it. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the
double standards, am I right?
Growing popularity of dark romance on TikTok and the recent dark romance convention that ended in disaster. Let's take a break from all this depressing political news and talk about something silly. Not that those political things aren't important, trust me, they are. You should be keeping up with politics and the news when you can. I know it can be difficult to do, but fear not. I have an app for that. So before we get into this video, let's quickly give a shout out to our sponsor, Ground News.
I'm not gonna
Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers an easy way to read news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features on Ground News is the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by one side of the political aisle and ignored by the other. For example, here's a story about how Gavin Newsom is signing a bill to give 800,000 Uber and Lyft drivers in California the right to unionize. Pretty cool. Rare Newsom W. 12 news sources covered this, 7 were left-wing and 0 were right-wing, because the right is covering a far more important topic. Harvard hires drag performer Lahore Vagistan as a visiting professor. 21 news sources covered this, 20 were right-wing, 1 was left-wing.
Shocker.
A country divided, truly. Ground News also makes it very easy to compare headlines, so you can see how political bias completely reframes a story. For example, talking about how Trump has been posting a bunch of those sombrero memes, and the New York Post says, White House official behind Trump's hilarious meme war on Dems revealed. And then a left-wing outlet covers the same story, like, as the shutdown continues, a checked-out Trump posts childish memes.
We get it.
Wildly different vibes going on here. I have been using Ground News since 2021. It is one of my favorite apps. Like, it is my go-to, like, when I wake up. I, like, check Twitter, and then I check Ground News, like, immediately. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing features. And it's only $5 a month, which is like basically the price of a coffee nowadays. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code here on screen, or use the link in the video description. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad.
You're welcome.
Right? So let's get back to the video. Book Talk is a very interesting place, and any book fans out there know how it has absolutely destroyed the hobby of literature and just flooded it with absolute slop. Spicy slop. You see, books on TikTok are not rated by how well they are written or how good the characters are. No, they are rated by the spice. And what does spice mean? Porn. It means porn. Spice level is very important to book talkers. How much spice does a book have? What are the spiciest books they have ever read? How spicy is the book?
I'm gonna say it. Just like how there's a male gooner look, I'm starting to see kinda and get the vibe of what a female gooner looks like.
Book they're currently reading. Spice, spice, spice. The spiciest book going viral on Book Talk lately
The aura, the vibe, if you will.
is none other than Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nascosta. Violet is a typical down-on-her-luck millennial, mid-20s, overeducated, and drowning in debt. Oh my god!
Is she really about to
She's stuff
read
like
this?
me! On the verge of moving into her parents' basement,
Lord.
when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job in the neighboring Cambric Creek. She has no choice but to grab it with both hands. Morning Glory Farm offers full-time hours, full
It's
benefits,
called Morning Glory Farms. Like, what are we doing?
and generous pay with no experience needed. There's only one catch. The clientele is grade A certified prime beef.
Wow, the writing is immaculate. This is Pulitzer Prize winning material here.
With the manly, meaty endowments to... Okay.
Morning
Thank
Glory
you.
Milking Farm is actually a profound critique of late-stage capitalism and toxic masculinity. In this text,
Here we go. Alright, explain to me how it... Explain.
we see that the tingling sensation in her coochie is actually the tingling sensation of a Marxist revolution.
This is every fucking bread tube video to me, dude. This is every Jack Saint video. So I actually read the...
This can't be real. This can't be the actual reality that I live in. I assume I went to sleep and I never woke up. And I'm still waiting to wake up. I'm assuming this is just... I'm choosing to assume this is all a dream.
book myself, and I'm not gonna lie. The 19th Amendment needs to be abolished. So, like I said, the story is basically this millennial named Violet, and she gets a job basically working at Big Pharma in Narnia, where they harvest
But, you know,
Minotaur milk to make Viagra for human males. And I read the whole thing. Probably gonna be put on some kind of watch list. But listen,
You
this is my
chose to
job,
read the whole
okay?
thing.
I'm not out here like selling feet pics or something. What I do is far more dignified and normal.
it's journalism.
Now let's take a look at
It's
some
reporting.
of these notes I wrote. Let's see. Big dick and balls. At one point she says the term, and I quote, the seam of his sack. So I'm reading this and the whole time I'm thinking like, okay, he probably has like a human head, right? He probably like looks something like this, like, you know, just a dude with like horns. Then
I don't know
I
if I
see
can get through
the
this whole
official
video.
art.
We're already... I've already spent almost a third of the time watching this. Might as well just thug it out.
That's a cow. Bro is a cow. Bro is a straight up cow. In a
This
few
is,
parts
It's just bestiality. The smut fantasy is just bestiality.
they're being intimate and it will be like,
You know, I did have a guy at my school in my friend group. I think his cousin did something with peanut butter and a dog. I'll let you fill in the rest of the gaps.
his hooves clip clopped. My hooves will tear up your sheets. And it's like,
I don't know why he shared that or how that got into the friend group. But yeah,
I'm sorry, his
I'm
what?
not going to name names.
What? At one point, she describes kissing him, and I swear to God it was more disgusting than anything else described in this book. She's like describing how big and wide his mouth is and how big and like slimy his tongue is. She's like describing the shit and you're just like,
You know, I got a better book that would replace this nonsense. It's called The Bible. It's a good read.
that's a cow. I mean, we are at a solid 5.5 on the Barbeau scale here. This is dangerous territory, folks. She also f***ers his ass. She f***ers the cow's ass. By the way, if you want an uncensored version of this video and all my videos, Patreon. Go to Patreon,
I mean, I think I can understand you just fine.
become a member. All members get the uncensored version of every video, so you can hear me
a
talk
pretty
about
good lip
f***ing and
reader.
f***ing and f***ing a cow's ass. Is that what you freaks want? Anyway, I like how in this fantasy world, student loans still exist. Like, we can imagine a world with minotaurs and humans in a relationship,
minotaurs.
but we can't imagine a world without student loans. Sad. Oh, and he has one of those bowl rings, like the nose ring theory septum rings. And in this world, that means, like, you're
Humanoid
married,
horse or
but apparently
cattle.
he's divorced. The man is
I don't know why I said
divorced. This
humanoid
is a
minotaur.
divorced cow with
Isn't a
a
minotaur like a mythical creature that has 4 legs though, and that guy had 2 legs? I don't know.
cow ex-wife. The lore is deep, folk.
No, I'm thinking of a centaur. Minotaur is a correct term.
The funniest part, though, has to be when they go on a date. I need to just read this to you. When the bill arrived, she attempted to pull a handful of carefully folded bills from her wristlet before he stopped her. No, that's absolutely not happening. Put that away. She'd not thought about it until the day after their first dinner together, realizing that in mortification that she ought to have attempted to pay her half. What kind of feminist are you? She asked herself. She couldn't remember the last time she'd been out and hadn't paid for her
What kind
half.
of feminist are you? This is the bullshit that has permeated our society.
Including her coffee date with Carson Tinsley. She had come prepared that night, several weeks of her tips smoothed and tucked into her wristlet. But I didn't even offer to pay half the other night and shouldn't have Violet, if the commanding rumble of his voice hadn't silenced her. The heat.
Granted, these are my opinions, and we're allowed to disagree. My chat, my YouTube comment section, any of my comment sections, TikTok, whatever, I use it as a chance to have an open forum where people can have actual dialogue. Does that happen every single time? No, but it's nice to try to get the conversation started on whatever the topic may be.
Of his hand dropping to her knee would've. I don't want you to feel that you don't have any agency here. I might be the one giving all the orders, but you hold all the cards. Your comfort is the only thing that counts right now. And if I overstep, I want you to know you can tell me so. But that's not happening. Don't think I'm unaware we're at different points in our careers. You can say no, you can say you don't want to see me again, you can tell me to stop
need to
coming to the farm when you're working.
I'll let her
It's
finish.
dinner, not a down payment of your time. But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone. So when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. She was a good feminist, she told herself. And she definitely couldn't be bought. But if he had suggested at that moment that he would have appreciated a blowjob, she would have fallen face first on his cock with an open mouth.
Bro, we gotta go outside more. We gotta stop staying inside. That's what I'm saying with this whole 9 to 5 thing. You go to work, you stay inside an office, maybe you do work outside, I don't know. We gotta have some more social interaction. What are we doing here?
Without a shred of hesitation. Inside every woman, there are 2 wolves. Or 2 bulls. The strong, independent girl boss and the submissive, doting housewife. And in the presence of a masculine man, or a farm animal, she will fold like a
A
lawn
literal animal.
chair and instantly return to factory settings.
It's dinner, not a down payment for your time. But I'm in a position to
This is so painful. This is so... I'm cringing. The physical cringe is hurting.
comfortably spoil someone. So when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. I said, okay, I highlighted that paragraph for myself.
Clean up aisle 5. So that's what I thought of it.
No,
But what did
gee.
other people think of it?
Nah.
What are the reviews on this book? This book has a 4.1 on Amazon with 21,000 ratings and a 3.6 on Goodreads.
That is a lot of ratings. And a 4.1 at that. For 21,000 ratings. That's...
with nearly 60,000 ratings.
And it's 60,000 on Goodreads.
Let's just-
not as high of a rating, 3.6, but still.
Read some random ones here. Hear me out. Hear me out. A milking good time. Sweet and creamy. The spice is spicing. I was very leery of starting this because I thought it was just gonna be porn. The plot is pretty good. The plot?
Plot.
Please. This is
Okay.
like the new I read Playboy for the articles. Like, sure you do. This book could kill a Victorian child. 5 stars. I'll never look at a jug of milk the same. I think I'm lactose intolerant now. So that happened. Our eyes will never see the gates of heaven. 1 star. Not a helpful guide. This book failed to teach me how to milk a cow, and now my family has no food for the winter. 1 star. Accidentally ordered while on pain medication after an operation. Gave this to my mom as a joke gift
Wow.
for Christmas. You what? Lesai, why can't human males
Your mom probably ended up enjoying it, so you probably started her smut addiction, so you should be proud of yourself.
be more like this? Tall, rich, and handsome are no longer enough,
You
boys.
have to be part cow.
Now you have to be a 9-foot tall creature from Greek mythology with a 13-inch dick. I never want to hear from another person about how they read 100 books in a year if this is the kind of slop they are consuming. Well, Ronald, man detected, this isn't for you. This is for women. So take your ass back to Barely Legal Babysitter 5 or whatever the f you watch that is so morally superior than this. Let him who is without sin cast the first stone, okay? God bless America. It's great to live in a
She's speaking with that.
country where I can casually enjoy cozy erotica
But
about
still, I mean, this is all filth. Just get rid of it all.
a young woman who milks her way to financial security and true love with a minotaur. This is what freedom looks like, and I intend to fully enjoy it before the Supreme Court takes this right away next. If this is what freedom looks like, I'm really rethinking my stance on freedom, not gonna lie. Accidentally
What is this? I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend?
summoned a demon
What are we
boyfriend.
talking
That time I got drunk and saved a demon. Gentling the beast. Cupcakes for my orc enemy. Mane of my existence. The gargoyle and the spinster. The widow and the orcs. Hoarded by the dragon. There's something about dragons. Getting it on with gargoyles. Gotten by the gator. Mated to the mountain bear. Oh, so this is why they chose the bear. The
I see.
billionaire
Yeah, this is why they chose the bear now.
orc. Moth manager. Wolves and whipped cream. The
There's no shot. Wolves? That might be the best title thus far.
billionaire orc. Moth manager. Wolves and
whipped cream.
whipped cream. The wolf in my tavern.
Okay.
Pounded by produce.
Produce.
Oh, what? Are
My husband only reads finance and sci-fi books, and so I think it's about time that I introduce him to some real literature.
Don't ruin
So the
your
first book
husband,
that I would like
please.
to introduce you to is called Morning Glory Milking Farm. And it's not a normal milking farm like with cows. What it is it's big, bulky minotaurs, and it's a special
These are the
type
type of women that are reading this that would have had sex with the fallen angels in the Bible early in Genesis. These are the exact women. This is just calling a spade a spade.
women on TikTok are openly, proudly talking about the porn they consume and getting mad at people when they make fun of it. I hereby ban men from reacting to romantasy on TikTok. Best-selling romantasy books like
Jezebel.
I hereby ban men.
That's all I need to know.
Over 90% of men between the ages 16 and 73 watch porn in any random month. There's statistically no way all of these guys are shocked by the sex itself. What they are gawking at is sex from the perspective of female desire, scenes that depict women coming first and frequently. And what they are surprised by is the women they know love
73.
these scenes. In one video, a guy declares,
man.
"Now I know why women enjoy book clubs and wine." But his astonishment in itself is astonishing. Like, what do you think adult women were into? Not having sex and drinking wine? Grow up.
Yeah, but videos of two normal people and then a book about you and a minotaur? I don't really know about that one. You know, human connection, bestiality. I don't know about that one, Chief.
Imagine a group of men sitting around drinking
Mythical creature, nonetheless.
wine, discussing the porn they watch. That is what you guys are essentially doing. It's just funny, okay? Like, it's funny. Are we really going to pretend that a story about a young woman getting a job milking mythical creatures to pay off her student debt is not funny? It's funny. If that makes me
It's
a
sad,
sexist misogynist,
But also, to the woman that was saying in this video before, in a clip, I guess a fan of the book saying it was a symbolism of late stage capitalism and that communism was rising from her coochie or whatever. Like, if anything, if you're doing favors to the Minotaur to pay for your student loans or whatever, that's an accurate representation of just prostitution in modern day America and a lot of other countries as well. So I guess the feminism part of the book sent a message that most people won't pick up on because they'll be focusing on the Minotaur on human action. But, you know, if that doesn't tell you something, where somebody has to do sexual favors in order to pay for their college. Like, what does that tell you about the state of the country? It's just a thought. Deep thought. I know people who read this stuff probably don't think that deeply, but I'm just saying. I'm assuming. I could be completely wrong, but we know porn messes with your brain, so.
You got me. To act like you are so different and above the other gooners is just, it's silly. I'm sorry, but you are no different than Joe Schmo jorking it to fat booty Latinas in Space 12. You're sitting there all high and mighty, one hand on the book, acting like you're so—
Sometimes, it's hard when you go without the real thing, so I get it as well, but it's like, dang, like, I can't even talk to a chick nowadays. Like, I can't even get to step one. Like, hi, what's your name? Like,
superior because
it's
you
rough
can
out here.
perfectly envision a horse spinning 360 degrees in your mind. I'm not impressed. The scenes these men are reading, to many people, myself included, are insanely sexy. But purely in terms of the acts being described, they aren't all that lurid. And as many of the comments on these videos point out,
feminism has ruined us. This is what happens with the sexual liberation of a woman. I'm not trying to sound like I'm a misogynist or anything. Misogyny, for anybody that doesn't know, literally means you are prejudiced against women. I am not prejudiced against women. I just have some thoughts about some movements that I've carried out where it's no longer about equality between the sexes, but it's a hyper dominance of one over the other. And it seems today that that hyper dominance is coming from the female side. But if I speak against this, I'm a misogynist. I'm a pig. But this is the side that is pushing for... Some of them protest with like their bare titties out in the streets. I've seen those pictures before. And we're talking about... Like, you can just run up a bunch of bodies, but you still expect me to provide for you when it's time for you to settle down? I don't think so. I don't think this is how it works at all. I'd rather be a pig than a retard at this point. Literally. I couldn't have said it better myself. I would rather be a pig than a retard at this point. Sometimes enough is enough. I had reached my cap before, but now I really just don't give a single fuck. Like, literally, I swear there was this woman that was staring at me at the gym. And funny enough, she looked older. I don't know. I hope for her sake she was older and she just doesn't look older, but she's actually younger. Some Indian chick. You know, she got a big behind, whatever. It's not like she looks like she works out all too much, but it's still shapely, right? Whatever. I look dead straight ahead. I can tell her eyes are locked on me, whatever. I just look dead straight ahead. I don't care to even engage with the female at this point, because I have a feeling that the internet has just tainted so many of us, male and female, that we have just completely messed up the dating dynamics in society. And then the one girl that I saw who was my waitress when I was eating with my dad at a country club, I could have said something and I didn't, because I let everything else mess up my thought process around approaching women. Because I'm like, well, is it too weird to say something at her job? She's working, she's rushed, I don't want to seem creepy, and all this stuff. With the whole Me Too thing, like, leave us alone, you men are weird. Well, we're leaving you alone. You guys are deciding to do your own things that are contrary to the traditional values of society. And this is where it's gotten us. Point blank and simple. I think I'm going to be doing a lot more of these commentary / reaction type streams, even though I don't like reacting to videos all that much, but I need content for YouTube, and also it just makes it easier. So it is what it is. I caved in. I don't want to do all just reaction content, and I don't think that's all it'll be. I'll still do gaming. I mean, even gaming nowadays, I'm sorry, I'm getting on another rant. Even gaming nowadays is trash. They put all these agendas in the games, and even the games that are decent nowadays, like Fortnite, I can't even play Fortnite because it's not optimized for PlayStation, whatever, so I'm at a competitive disadvantage. But video games are just trash now, too. And then they're upcharging with the whole Xbox Live. They're changing it from $20 to $30. Like, y'all can't even bring out any good games nowadays. Like, and Fortnite, like I said, with Fortnite, like, they're not updating their shit. I can't even play some of the tournaments. The community's trash. Like, gaming is just in a bad spot. Like, and then we have this new Call of Duty that's coming out that's just trash. We already got hackers in the beta. It's just Black Ops 6 2.0. Like, just nostalgia bait and just trash, and people will buy it, and you just force microtransactions. Like, it's just, society has fallen. Where is the effort? Where are your balls as a man? Where are your, I don't know, where are your feminine values and traits as a woman? So much has happened, and a lot of us didn't want to admit it because we didn't want to get canceled, but fuck it. I don't give a fuck if I get canceled. I could give two fucks at this point. I have nothing to lose. I don't care. And when I get to the highest of the highs in my career, wherever I am, I'm going to speak the truth, because the truth is important. Because I hate seeing my country and other people's countries degrade in real time. I hate seeing the whole entire world just fall to pieces in real time. I hate not having to have, I hate not having the ability to just randomly strike up a conversation with somebody because everyone's on edge. I hate not having the ability to date because dating dynamics have gotten so bad to the point where I have to build myself up to be somebody that's earning over 6 figures or 7 figures to be worth dating, on top of the black pill of looks are everything. So you got to make sure your looks are on point, your game's on point, your swag's on point. You don't look gay. You don't look like this. You don't say anything wrong that could trigger the female. The huge political divide that we have, where we can't even have a conversation, where literally somebody got shot. Some people think it was fake. Some people think it was real. Regardless if it was real or fake, the scenario in of itself, does anybody deserve to get shot for their political opinion? If you believe it was fake or if it's real, it doesn't matter. If you are watching a movie and you saw that happen in a movie, do you think the character deserved to get shot anyways for just speaking their mind and having civil discourse? I don't think so. But we live in some sick, twisted world that some people have just flipped their minds about a bunch of things. And we get all emotional and we stop analyzing, and we have this short form content where we consume media and we don't get fully involved and active in things, and we're not learning. We're just doom scrolling and just absorbing just dumb shit all day. That's making us dumber, on top of the fact that the school system is also literally making kids dumber by changing the curriculum, and they took out phonics. Kids aren't learning how to sound out words. They don't know how to read. They don't know how to do math. You look on the TikTok comments now, you look at Instagram comments, people just, there's no proper spelling or punctuation. There's nothing. I feel like it got worse after the pandemic as well. Way worse after the pandemic. Can you imagine several years of isolation and you're in fear of a flu? Because that's what COVID was. COVID was quite literally a flu. It was quite literally a flu. SARS coronavirus. It's literally a type of flu. But we got so crazy about that. Put on the mask. You're going to kill grandma. Or take the vaccine, don't take the vaccine. That whole thing with people feeling pressure to take the vaccine, like if you didn't take the vaccine, you'd be laid off from your job. You know, if you don't take the vaccine, you're a bad person, all this stuff. And then the whole censoring of information online during that time as well. Like, and then the kids just doing the online school. So you just have this distrust of the government and people, the politics with Trump and Biden, and then all whatever, Biden winning and George Floyd and freaking whatever else that happened in that time period. That time period just went by fast. Like, just the 2020s are just like crazy. Actually crazy. The 2020s just, it feels like we lost years. It does, man. Like, what happened? I'm a completely different person now than when I was 19 in 2020, or when I was 18 in 2019. I graduated high school in 2019. Like, these past 5-6 years, I'm 24 now. Like, what happened? What actually happened? I can tell you what happened, or I have my theories at least, but that's one whole rabbit hole. And I think people are starting to dig their own rabbit holes as time goes on with just everything that's surfacing and questioning certain things. But it's some crazy stuff, man. It's some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff that's happened. Like, it's actually nuts. But anyways, back to Minotaurs and
There's much
female gooners.
wilder stuff out there. For example, these men have clearly not
There's some things you can't even talk about. Exactly.
yet discovered nodding. A
You
popular
can't even bring up the conversation without somebody saying something like, you're racist, misogynist, or you're this-ist, or just like, oh, hush, hush. This is just the topic that you can't name. Like,
term in romance
I'm
right
saying what I
now
wanna
that
say.
involves werewolves whose penises get so swollen after sex they have to stay inside their partners until the swelling subsides.
What is this?
Oh,
What is this literature, man?
oh, honey, that's not a popular trend in romantasy. That's just a thing real dogs do. Oh, you just don't get it. You don't know what knotting is. What are these women reading, bro? What happened to that, like, stupid...
This is actually concerning. 50 Shades of Grey. My radar was already tingling, but the milking farm, whatever it is, and then this wolf. Nah. This is
fucking corny
This is too much.
Hallmark thing, going home for Christmas to your hometown and falling in love with the cute farmer boy. What happened to that?
What happened to actual love with a human being?
Make fun of that. We truly did not know what we had until it was gone. Now women out here fantasizing about getting their asses clapped by demons and werewolves and goblins and ghouls. I remember when 50 Shades of Grey came out and people were like,
There we go. 50 Shades of Grey.
oh my god, this is so crazy. Women are crazy. 50 Shades of Grey looks like missionary sex through a bedsheet for the sole purpose
It
of
looks so
procreation compared to
tame
the the
compared
average
to
woman
this.
on TikTok is reading. At least Christian Grey was a human man and not a fucking dog. You fantasize about dating the quiet, shy, nerdy girl. You know, she's innocent, she's pure, she's not like those other girls, like going out clubbing and hooking up with random men.
Little
No,
do you
she's
know.
at home, curled up by the fire in a blanket, reading a book, except that book is about f***ing a half man, half bull. Let me let you in on a little secret. The quiet, nerdy girl is way more of a freak than the average hoe. Are you kidding me? It's not even close. The average hoe might have a body count of like 15 or so, but the quiet, nerdy girl is fantasizing about getting back shots from Cthulhu.
15? I don't know about that one.
That is at least 100 bodies. Now listen, there's nothing inherently wrong with fantasizing, okay? There's nothing wrong with role play. You know, fiction is fiction, right?
comes
you're
to
not
a
actually
point.
going to bang your stepsister,
gets
right?
to
These
a
women
point.
are not actually going to bang a cow. Or at least I hope not.
I hope
we all
not,
know
too.
there is a difference between fantasy and reality. Well, what happens when they try to bring fantasy into reality?
Don't know.
Well,
Please, no.
you get Sinners and Stardust.
No. Do you want your biggest dreams to become reality? Sinners and Star. It's literally. I said this looked like a Epstein party, but it's literally called. It's literally called Sinners and Stardust. So what else do you expect? I mean, the name's right there. Sinners and Stardust. Specifically the sinners. I mean, this would make an Epstein party look tame, but you know, you get the point. The mask really just throws it. Maybe more Rothschild.
What in the eyes wide shut is going on here? Sinners
Literally, what in the eyes wide shut.
and Stardust was supposed to be a dark romance ball for romantasy authors and fans alike. So what's the big deal? Seems like a fun, sexy time, right?
No.
Maybe, if you're a woman. If you're a man, the night may have gone a little differently for you. Alright y'all, it appears I have to make a post that I'm frankly pretty goddamn upset I have to make. This post is for the readers who don't understand consent and boundaries only. A lot of you may know my good friend Animus. He's attended a signing of mine in the past and obviously is a musical artist. This past weekend, he attended Sinners in Stardust and probably had one of the most heartbreaking experiences. So listen, he's a man, right? But do we think that means it's okay to put your hands all over him without consent? Or to put your hands in his waistband or down his pants or touch his dick? Hello? Do we think it's okay to quite literally back him into a corner and touch all over him to the point that he literally cannot tell how many hands are on him and whose are whose? Do we think it's okay to send him into an actual...
What did I say? It's in the name. Sinners in Stardust.
Panic attack because of this? Furthermore, do we think it's okay to interrogate him and insist
play stupid games, win stupid prizes?
Detail how he'd kidnap a woman, despite him repeatedly saying he wouldn't do that and that shit is fiction, and then attempt to follow him when he tries to get away? And if that wasn't enough, during the time of this mob, him and another author received notification that
these readers are these women that are reading this are gooned out and crazy. Got it.
AirTag was tracking him, which showed on his person all the way to his hotel room. They molested this guy until he passed.
Not to sound misogynistic, okay? Because men do that too. Men are gooned out and weird too. We see it a lot more and it's highlighted in men because people like to make fun of men, but women do this too.
Out from anxiety, and then
Actual
they put a
equality,
tracker on him
in
order to stalk him back to his hotel. This poor guy dressed like a character in one of the romantasy books at this romantasy convention full of women. That is like throwing roast beef into a pit of wolves, or in this case throwing a wolf into a pit of roast beef. I remember years ago there was this thing called cosplay is not consent. Basically it was a campaign to bring attention to the fact that people at conventions would often come up to women dressed in sexy costumes and just grope and grab them without their consent. Yeah, apparently we have to bring that back because these women did not get the memo. I've been a furry for over a decade and attended a lot of fur cons. Sure, sometimes weird shit happens, but honestly I can't believe the dark romance crowd is out here acting like this. Like me and my buddies in our fursuits are more respecting of consent and bodily autonomy. Get your shit together, y'all. When these
you know it's bad when somebody in the furry community is saying they have better boundaries.
Furries are calling you out for being freaks.
Yeah.
You need to reflect. Something has gone horribly wrong. Not only were the men at this book talk convention assaulted, but women were also assaulted by women. Multiple women, including a performer, reported being assaulted there as well. Even an author there said she was groped and dragged away from her friends and said no matter how many times she said no, quote, my words did nothing. May I remind you, this is a book convention, okay? For books.
For books.
Literal BDSM clubs are more respectful than this. There needs to be more studies on how this stuff affects women's brains, because clearly some are unable to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. Ivy Lipton, a doctoral candidate in human sexuality, actually wrote about this for EV Magazine. I don't know what a doctoral candidate in human sexuality is, but she's hot, so I trust her. Your brain on orgasms isn't neutral.
Real?
Dopamine release during climax is a powerful conditioning agent. What you repeatedly fantasize about becomes necessary for arousal. If your erotic imagination centers around abuse, monstrous violence, and submission to non-human entities, your brain is reprogramming itself to crave just that. It's not empowerment, it's neuroplasticity at its darkest.
That's why you gotta get away from it while you still can.
Scientists, psychologists, and the general public often state that men are visual and women are emotional. When it comes to sex, men can be turned on instantly by a sexual image despite their mood, and women need to be turned on emotionally to get in the mood. So it stands to reason that porn for men is visual and porn for women is in the mind. I'm not equating porn to smut novels, because one is a video of two people actually having real sex, and the other is, well, just words on paper. I am, however, talking about the effect on the consumer. We know watching porn is bad for the brain. That's been proven and only rejected by gooners who don't want to give it up.
Swiss cheese.
But is reading smut bad? You might say, duh, that's the whole point. Okay, fair enough. So let me rephrase. Is reading smut harmful?
Probably.
Should we shame people for things that are wrong, immoral, or harmful? In my line of work, I've been told many times that shame has no place in sex. But if I use my brain for 2 seconds, it's clear that line of thinking is nonsense. Incest should be shamed, bestiality should be shamed, pedophilia should be shamed.
Absolutely.
I'm not equating monster smut with these things, but there are 50 Shades of Grey,
literally the monster smut literally bleeds into bestiality. So
speak along the spectrum.
there was literally a wolf one, right? So
of harmful. Conditioning your brain and body to associate pleasure with monsters, slavery, or sexual violence is not healthy.
Okay,
basically, they're cooked. Like, Women are cooked. They are frying their brains with this stuff. It's a pipeline, right? It's like the infamous evil alt-right pipeline. You know, you start watching Shoe on Head, owning the feminists in 2015, and then in 2025, you're hailing Hitler, right? You know, the alt-right pipeline. And this one's like, you're reading Morning Glory Milking Farm, and the next...
Sex nowadays is the first thing that should have more shame. Like, it's shameless now. It's absolutely shameless, bruh. The expectation now is like you're just putting out, or like it's not gonna work, or like buy me this and then I'll have sex with you type of thing. Like, prostitution is just the oldest profession, one of the oldest professions out there throughout human history. It's no different now, and it's really made the dating game more prostitute like. Because I mean, no matter where you are, I mean, you're always paying for it. No matter what, if you think about it, like if you have a wife and you're providing for her, or if you straight out go out and get it and pay for it, or if you take a girl on a date. But like, we need to bring back chastity. You know, we need to stop spreading STDs, and we need to stop having children out of wedlock, and we need to start enforcing more relationships and marriages and long-term partnerships. That's my opinion, at least. And also, make it so the decorum when you're in public, like, you're actually wearing something that's not revealing just everything and leaving nothing to the imagination.
Thing, you know, you're Mrs. Hands, right? Just say no. Just say no to monster.
But I mean,
but why
apparently that's too far nowadays.
Is monster smut so popular with women in particular? Like, you rarely see the opposite, and when you do, it's just like a girl with cat ears and fangs, or like a 10-foot tall dommy mommy vampire with giant titties. Meanwhile, women are like, I want to f the pollution monster from Fern Gully. So people on Reddit asked this very question. Let's see the responses. Why do you guys like monster romances? Asking for a friend. Several reasons. One, human men are quite often terrible.
And there it is. Human men are quite often terrible. This is part of the problem. The women hater movement. Another pipeline a lot of women have gone into nowadays. It's just, fuck men. Men suck, right?
Romance books.
This gender war thing is so cliche now. Like,
with human men.
When are you gonna get a grip and actually look at yourself and fix yourself and not blame your problems on men? Maybe you had a bad childhood. Maybe your father wasn't in your life. Maybe you got treated poorly by a few men who you chose to date. But you had a decision. It's a two-way street. As bad as some of the people were that were in your life, you had a decision on how you could interact with them in certain circumstances. The bear versus the man shit just makes me fucking laugh. Yeah, I'd rather be with the bear. I'd rather the bear would treat me better. Okay, let's see how that goes.
Are already partly fantasy, but monsters just takes the fantasy bit further. Two, it's sort of human.
Like, if anything, the internet has just quite literally given us an open gateway into the true nature of just people in general. We have information at our fingertips at light speed, and we can just see the true nature of how people act behind closed doors. It's quite interesting to see.
Nature to imagine relationships with paranormal beings and creatures. We've been doing it in literature and art for centuries. It's just gotten a lot more graphic now, lol. 3, unique body forms / parts and so many different kinds of dicks. Scary, mean, terrifying creature is sweet to her, kind, takes care of her, protects her, works hard to be gentle, etc. Maximal escapism, minimal association to real-life assholes, the patriarchy, misogyny.
There it is again, the patriarchy, misogyny.
And oppression of women.
And oppression of women, okay.
Etc, etc. Because the monsters are less dangerous than dating actual men.
Okay, there's another one.
As a fat woman of color. Modern, contemporary, and even fantasy romances are hard to click to because they are almost always about thin white women and just too realistic.
Oh, shut up. Even in the modern contemporary romance isn't black enough for you. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about?
And romance in real life is not
50 Shades of Grey is racist because Christian Grey didn't hook up with the black chick. Shut the fuck up.
Not always attainable for fat women.
For fat women. Get in the gym. How about that? Get in the gym. Eat some vegetables. Get your blood work done. See if you have any underlying health conditions that are preventing you from losing weight. How about that? What are you talking about with this 50 modern, contemporary, and even fantasy romances are too hard to click because they're almost always about thin white women and are just too realistic. If she's not single, I feel bad for her husband, or she could be lesbian. That's a high possibility as well. It's 2025, so I guess I'm technically being inclusive when I say that. It's not a dig. I'm just saying these are the possibilities nowadays.
In monster alien
Or she could have been a he that wants to be a she. You never know.
Oh, my really size doesn't matter, and it's easier to get into that headspace and enjoy it. I'm sick of the men on Earth and looking for some variety.
How do you get I'm sick of the men on Earth and looking for some variety. So, borderline bestiality. The bear chat, man versus bear. I guess the bear is gonna get more action than me.
Non-humans haven't betrayed and hurt me, so they feel like a safe haven, if that makes sense. Plus the unusual dick. Monsters have big, fun-shaped cocks. I love some bizarre peen. Unique genitalia. I don't know what I was expecting, honestly. A lot of women's smut, especially monster smut, is about submission, domination, force.
Your future wife could be reading this shit. Actually, no, she wouldn't. My future wife would not be reading this shit. I don't claim that over my life. No. Somebody's future wife is reading this because some poor fella is gonna not be able to read the signs and he's gonna be miserable for the rest of his life or until they get a divorce, and he's still gonna be miserable because he just realized he went through some shit that he could have avoided. Yet here we are.
Breeding, non-consensual consent. The women are like conquered and taken and
which way, Western man? Choose wisely.
Overpowered by these monsters. And I think
the enlightened feminist or the trad wife, if that's even possible. But just the two polar opposites. The extreme super extreme trad wife life, or the liberating I'll choose the bear fight for equality side.
Many of these women
equality
are reading these books containing monsters and not men because masculinity and dominance in men has been completely demonized in modern society. But the truth is, many women still crave it. You see, the monsters in these stories have those like dominant masculine traits that women like so much, but they're not human men. They have all these traits women desire without the problematic baggage human men bring, without being the men they hate or have been told to hate. It is the perfect guilt-free slop. But they don't just want a wild dominant man, they want to tame a wild dominant man. Similar to when a man sees an art hoe with a nose ring, you can save her
septum ring theory
from her daddy issues. You can do it. Septum it definitely won't backfire
theory.
And ruin your life. Go for it. Go talk to her. With many women, there's this desire for like danger and aggression, but also the desire to tame that danger and aggression. The desire to be that special woman who can melt his heart. You see, my dragon boyfriend could rip me to shreds and kill me instantly, but he won't because he's nice and he loves me. But honestly, at the end of the day, just like the video I made about the anime girl in a wheelchair where men were saying, this is the average male fantasy, and a bunch of women were like, you wanna rape a disabled girl?
Yeah, that was crazy too. I saw that video.
When in reality,
react to it.
It was just a distilled manifestation of the average male fantasy, which is to
like we
protect
can't have nice shit at all. Everything has to just go to fucking shit. Like, everything just has to fuck up. It just has to be fucked up. Like everything just has to just crumble. We can't have anything nice. Why?
And provide for a sweet woman and save her. This is like basically the flip of that, right? This is just the distilled manifestation of the female fantasy.
Girls helping girls. Girls helping girls.
Men are seeing this and they're saying, what do you mean you want to milk a minotaur?
But when men want to help each other, or men say something that's actually sounds more healthy than what these females are talking about nowadays, not all, but just the gender war that we have here online, like the video she's talking about with the anime of the girl in the wheelchair and then the guy that's taking care of her, and they're like dating or whatever. People are saying, "Oh, that's predatory. That guy's weird for wanting a relationship." For men saying this is the ideal relationship because the guy loves her regardless of her spinal problems and she can't walk or whatever. Like that is love right there. Wouldn't you want somebody that loves you, for your personality, wants to be around you, even if you couldn't walk, even if you were sick, even if you maybe didn't have that most ideal look? Like, what are we talking about?
When in reality, it's just to have a big, strong protector and provider swoop you up and save you. And like I said in that video, they're basically both the same fantasy. This is a tale as old as time, the princess being saved from the dragon by a knight in shining armor, whether the dragon be a wheelchair or student loans, you know? But in this case, the woman is being f***ed by the dragon.
I mean, this is worse than Shrek, and Shrek wasn't even that weird considering the fact that Fiona, even though she was human and she was saved by an ogre, she turned to an ogre at night. Or was it during the day? I think it was at night, actually. And then she had the choice of becoming human and leaving Shrek, or becoming an ogre. And then she decided to become an ogre. So at least it was the same species.
And the knight sits in the corner and watches or something, I don't know. Maybe it's not that deep. There are some hungers better starved than fed. And maybe as women, for the sake of society, we have to
Not everything needs to have fuel to its fire.
Starve our hunger for minotaur p***ness. Yeah, that's the moral of this video. So what do you guys think? What is your theory? Why is the monster romance genre so popular with women in particular?
Gender wars. Socially engineered gender war.
And who is your weirdest?
Feminism, which fed into that. The alienation of men. The high standards put upon men with the lackadaisical standards set on women. Yeah. As much as I love the internet, if you take a step back, that's just what we'll have to do, bro. Just go offline, because the best chances we have of finding worthy individuals, and I'm not even talking only love, but every type of relationship, is to find people who are not affected by that online gender debate and all the bullshit opinions being created and pushed down people's throats. Yeah, it's true. But this is what happens when we live in a hyper-consumerist society and everything's force-fed to us, and we're just told to consume and consume, consume without even a thought of whether the thing is of benefit to us or not.
Hear me out. Be honest. I don't want to hear no Lola
consuming media, products that you buy, all that stuff.
Bunny, okay? You all know mine already. It's not that he's a fish, okay? He has an energy, okay? He has a vibe. You know what? Never mind. And I will see you guys again really soon with a new video. Bye!
W shoe on head. That was a good video.